So in this short video, we'll look at a special case where the initial reservoir fluids are not single phase, they're actually two-phase saturated. So you actually have an oil saturation and a gas saturation, at least predicted by the PVT model to be there initially. And how that will look like in Whitson PVT is within all the black oil table modules and also the fluid initialization modules. You'll see that you'll have a reservoir pressure, which in this case is just, for example, 2,500, which is lower than the saturation pressure, which in this case, just for example, is 4,000. That gives you a oil saturation and a gas saturation at the initial reservoir conditions. So when we're talking about a reservoir like this, we sometimes refer to that as a two-phase saturated system. So if you're going to import this type of table into Harmony, there's a lot of similarities to what you did before. There's only one quick thing that you need to check, essentially. But the same thing applies. You go to your relevant well, you download the relevant table for that particular well, you open Harmony, and you open that particular Excel sheet. I guess the most relevant and most important thing to do once you've gone into the analysis tab right here, and before you actually input these PVT properties, is to input these predicted saturations right here. So the SGI and the SOI. And these values you'll find in the fluid init tab. So this is just an other example where we see that the initial oil saturation is 6.66%. So we'll do that right here. And then the gas saturation is just the rest of that. And in this case, we'll just assume that there is no water. If you actually have water in your system, and that's what's, I guess, important here. So if you have water, you need to also adjust for that water, such that this is just the sum of these two, which is 100%, is just the sum of the hydrocarbon pore volume. Okay, so it doesn't actually account for the water saturation. Okay, so if you have 20% water saturation, then the sum of these two should add up to 80%, but the relative saturations are the same. And except from that, all the other rules apply. You have to import the initial reservoir conditions here. You have to import the black oil PVT modules, the values here in custom table, as we've seen earlier, for both PVT correlation and the viscosity correlation right here. I'll refer to the first video for that, where all that relevant data is given here in the data tab.